new video obtained by Local 4 shows a black pickup truck pulling up outside Hamtramck City Hall in the middle of the night, just days before the primary election. All of a sudden, the lights turn on inside the truck. That's when you spot 3 men inside, including what appears to be Council Member Abu Musa in the back seat, the same council member who is seeking re-election right now. The video then shows the driver getting out and stuffing absentee ballots into the drop box. The only problem? They don't all fit. He then starts pushing them in before reaching for 2 more stacks. The whole time looking around to see if anyone is watching. After about 2 minutes, the group drives away. And get this, Local 4 found that it happened again, only 4 days later. This time, a different car pulling up, with what appears to be the same council member in the passenger seat. He then starts handing bundles of ballots to the driver, dropping off 3 large stacks. City election results show Musa received 1,129 votes during the primary, making him the top contender for city council in November. Michigan State Police confirmed the videos are part of an ongoing investigation. It all comes just days after 2 Hamtramck City Council members were charged with election fraud in connection to the
Steve, first of all, thank you for having me. I know time is precious here. You got a lot going on, but what we've uncovered about to break in Georgia is all hell's going to break loose. We've got 2 organizations called OPSEC and True to Vote. Heather Mullins from Real America's Voice, who has been on the ground for us, broke this story today on my radio show. Basically, what we have is coming video. She's seen the video. It's not been released. There is coming video where there are basically about 240 what I'm going to call ballot traffickers in Georgia. And so what they did is they went around to the drop boxes all over the state, with each of them averaging about 24 drop boxes each. And what they would do is they would go there in the middle of the night, this is all on video, and they would empty backpacks with gloves on full of ballots into these drop boxes. There's 240 different ballot traffickers that they've identified as potential suspects here.
While the entire world is preoccupied with Vladimir Zelensky, the little midget troll from Ukraine, there are other things happening. And I didn't cover it because there's play-by-play, oh, Trump is talking to Zelensky, oh, Trump is talking to this one, oh, Trump is talking to that one. Quite frankly, it's boring. I mean, it's just boring. And we don't have a deal till we have a deal. Now, I will say this. I think he's the only president in history of America that could have got this done or get close to getting this done. And upon the Ukrainian war ceasing and desisting, I think America and the world goes into a time period of peace, and then our focus has to turn completely to China. But one of the things that Donald Trump did that's very important for all of us is Trump signs an executive order outlawing mail-in ballots. And this is going to manifest itself in so many different ways, because all over the United States of America, man, you have elections being stolen via mail-in ballots. And just recently, there was someone who was persecuted or prosecuted or charged with mail-in ballot fraud. And this is super duper important. He put out this very long speech about it, but President Trump released a True Social statement Monday morning announcing he will sign an executive order outlawing mail-in ballots nationwide. He's also targeting easy manipulated voting machines that leave no paper trail to back them up. I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, wrote the President of the United States. This move, and this move alone, is going to guarantee that Democrats do not win. Because it was the Dominion voting machines that were able to be hacked and the mail-in ballots that allowed Joseph R. Biden to get 80 million votes. I mean, let's just keep it real. You can have people on Social Security cards, or you can have fake people on the rolls of Social Security rolls, fake people on voter registration rolls. You can have all that crap. But it was the mail-in ballots and the machines flipping the votes that were the problem. And if you recall back then, people were reporting that votes were being flipped live, real time during the election. They were going in and saying, man, I voted for Trump. And then it flipped and it had me for Biden, or it flipped and had me for Kamala. So this is massive news. And if you need a reminder of the danger of mail-in ballots, let's go back to 2024 and let's go listen to what happened with the mail-in ballots in Arizona against Kari Lake. Do you guys remember that? Let's just take a look and see.
Misinformation and pieces floating around earlier today and last night. The key takeaways from the hearing today, looking at my notes, there were more than 255,000 early votes shown in the county's final vote that did not have a corresponding early voting entry, meaning they didn't have that record, but yet there was 255,000 ballots. That is a lot of ballots. There were also over 23,000 who voted by mail after moving after the cutoff, so they no longer lived in the state or in the county. There were 200 who had cast double votes. There were 9,000 more mail-in ballots were received and recorded than the official number of mail-in ballots. There's a large discrepancy, more than 255,000 in discrepancy, and you talked about the 50,000 that was leaked in the report last night saying that there could potentially be these fraudulent ballots. We also know that the machines were connected to the internet, contrary to what the county was saying before the audit, saying that they weren't connected to the internet. They weren't connected to the internet. We've learned conclusively that they were, and not only were they connected to the internet, but there was also remote access available to the EMS system, the election management system that was used. So there's a lot of discrepancies. There's a lot of explaining to do. And I want to point out the fact that the audit did not say that Joe Biden won. That is a leftist spin that's putting on it. They are the part that confirmed the hand recount is the same thing as counting potentially fraudulent ballots. It's the same thing we saw in Georgia right after the election. We saw a lot of people concerned saying, why are they doing a recount of the same fraudulent ballots to get the same fraudulent results? Well, it was part of the investigation, and they did that. So that's the explanation of where that count comes from. And they say the counts do match; they are close. However, there is a lot of indications of fraud, and so that's the discrepancy. That's the spin on the misinformation. So we need to see what comes of it. But there was a lot of information that came out today.
And that's just one district, guys. That's just one election where we had that kind of issue. And when Donald does this, when Donald deals with this, he's dealing with the machine. And what I mean by the machine, it's the machine that puts Democrats in office. I mean, put straight up. So Ilhan Omar, AOC, everybody throughout New York, governors, they all, you take advantage of these mail-in ballots. And so when we get to 2026 and we get to the midterms, you combine this executive order with, a Democrat meltdown. My Lord. The Democrat implosion, they're going to get wiped. They're going to get wiped out. And, Roger Stone has been talking about this for a very long time. And to me, the issue is it just takes so long for the truth to come around, man. Oh, my Lord. It takes forever for the truth to be made known. But it's been being said forever. Here's Roger talking about it back then, how it was Chinese ballots that were made. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually identified the place that was printing the Chinese ballots and then mailing them to the United States of America. It's just insane.
Left tried to say, as you know, there was no evidence whatsoever. Actually, Alex, the evidence of fraud in the 2020 election is overwhelming. It is ubiquitous. There is so much fraud, it's absurd. It would also get you to the rest of the criminals who were involved, the Norm Eisen, Mary McCord, Andrew Weissman crew, all perfectly indictable. I've seen an 82-page indictment already drafted on Andrew Weissman. I'm just waiting for Pam Bondi to pull the trigger.
Well, that's even General Flynn, who we know advises Trump on record unofficially at the highest level, along with you, put out a report a few days ago saying, where are the indictments? We're 150 days in now, or however many we'll put on screen. And this is the biggest issue with the public. That's why this war at another level has been a giant distraction to our domestic agenda. We're 156 days in. What the hell is going on here, Roger? Because like you said, this stuff is cut and dry. This is low-hanging fruit.
And it's worse than that. When we just go through the number of elections where this happened, the Supreme Court race was stolen in Wisconsin. Remember this? Do you guys remember when this happened? Hold on.
It's really, Alex, it's a matter of simple math. The numbers just don't add up. Schimmel had an enormous turnout for an off-year race. He actually got 1,063,204 votes, or 41,000 more votes than the leading Democrat candidate for the Supreme Court did 4 years ago. She got about the same number of votes, Crawford, as Hillary Clinton got in the previous presidential election. Republicans actually won the 2019 race for the Wisconsin Supreme Court, with their candidate having only 606,000 votes in the previous election. That would have been 2018. What that means is the Democrats have mastered mail-in ballot collection over a lengthy early voting period and can accurately forecast how many ballots they need in order to overcome Republican performance on Election Day. The fraud was baked in the mail-in votes. How likely is it that the people of Wisconsin passed by 25% a requirement for voter ID on Election Day, which, of course, is completely negated through mail-in voters? So Susan Crawford's campaign, first of all, was illegally financed. Millions of dollars of laundered money, once again, through Act Blue. A 10-page criminal complaint has been filed against her, as well as a judicial complaint. But election fraud is alive and well, and it lives in Wisconsin.
It's really that simple. I mean, it truly is really that simple. So when you go places like New Orleans, California, San Francisco, California, where you go to places in Florida, do you know how much damn election fraud is going on? I mean, all the way down to the judge level, like a city traffic court judge level. Yeah. If I have access to mail-in ballots today, I can go ahead and get them ballots, fill them out, and go put my name on and run for office and stuff the ballot box and win. Yep. I can win. And that's the problem that we're running into. And that's what's being solved. And so, you know, the greatest thing that happened was Roger Stone going to Washington, D.C. And it took the Jeffrey Epstein debacle for Roger Stone to be called back into the White House. Everything was being done to divide Roger Stone and Donald J. Trump. And the best thing that happened to America, when we look back on this years from now, the best thing that happened to America was Roger Stone going back into the White House. Matter of fact, let me find a picture of Roger Stone, because the news won't say this. The other pundits won't say this. They're just going to report on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Oh, you know, Zelensky didn't do his Fox News report. Oh, Zelensky just got on a plane. Oh, the Russians paid for cash for their fuel for their jet. Oh, but the real hardcore truth is that it was Roger that went there and finally got a foot put up the globalists behind. Hold on. Man, I hate to jack so much stuff from Alex on one video, but the truth of the matter is he the one that's tied into the truth. Yeah, he the one that's tied in. But common sense tells you who the players are. You know what I'm saying? If you ever was a player, then you can tell who the real players are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
With the full audience. But Roger, thank you for taking the time out from your important meetings. I know you don't like to toot your horn and things, but you have been up there intensely. As I've talked to folks who have been in the meetings and have called me. You have been right at the center of talking to people and working through what Johnson has said, you know, caught people flat-footed. Well, it didn't catch us flat-footed 22 days ago, and we've both said this is bad and this is being handled. But you have been meeting with the vice president, with the secretary of state, with Trump, I met with, obviously, what was it, Rubio today, Vance yesterday. So you can tell us what you can about that. But give us a little 2-minute prelude of what's coming up, Roger Stone.
Well, Alex, thanks for having me. As you know, for many years, it has been my policy not to discuss personal conversations with the president unless he says to me, I want people to know that I'm, feeling great, whatever it may be. The point here, of course, is that I'm uniquely well positioned to speak to this issue because I'm the first author in the country to write extensively about Epstein. Nick Bryant wrote journalistically about it for Gawker, some landmark pieces that he had a hard time as a freelancer getting any major publication to take, which is a story of a billion.
All right, Roger, we got you. We got you, my man. There's one person that I want to meet, ladies and gentlemen. It's Roger Stone. I was invited to go to the Gateway Pundits Convention on August 9th. I did not make it because there are other pressing family issues to take care of. But there's one person that I promise you will see me in a photograph with. I won't be dressed like this. I'll put on my suit and tie. I'll go break out my beautiful watches from the safe. But there's one person that I'm determined that I'm going to meet, and that's going to be Roger Stone. And the reason why is because Roger is the quintessential essence of a political hitman, and I love political hitmen. But the point I'm making to you is this. When history tells the tale of how the globalists went down, there shall be two names written in history, Roger Stone, Alex Jones. The one name that shall be exalted is Roger Stone because it was on the heels. And this is how you know God was involved. If we go back to the beginning of last month, at the end of Pride Month to the beginning of August. Well, we're in August right now. August. June, July. June. Beginning of July, the end of June, beginning of July. It was this kerfuffle between, that was more than a kerfuffle. It was this dog fight between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And then the dog fight turned into the Epstein file fight. And it was that fight over the Epstein files that brought Roger Stone back into the game. And as soon as Roger got in the game, that's when you saw all the action. If you go back and think about it, really think about it, it was him. When Roger went there, everybody went on the offensive. And that's why they wanted to keep people like General Flynn and Roger Stone and Steve Bannon, all those people out of the White House. It was Roger who started to try and mend the fences between Donald and Elon. Because truthfully, the fences do need to be mended between the two of them. They could have been mended had Elon not went on his Epstein tirade. If I was Donald, I would be cordial with him. But after you said I was in the Epstein files and went crazy, I would be like, yo, F you. You know what I'm saying? You would have to come here and kiss the ring. But all I'm saying is this, ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. America is winning, baby. Now, we got some problems. We got some issues. We got some things like male cheerleaders in the NFL. That's just not going to go well. But for the most part, America is winning. And the last thing we have is these liberals, the liberal paid protesters. When that dam breaks and they start getting arrested for insurrection or whatever the proper term is, fomenting insurrection. Come on, say the words right. Fomenting insurrection. When they start getting arrested for that, it's going to be quiet in America. Yeah, it's going to be quiet in America. All this marching in the streets and the now is going to be real quiet. We getting close. We inching closer. Just to be close to you, girl. All right, guys, I'll see y'all on the next video. I'm out of here.